Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastavutale Srimati Jayapataka Swami Acharya Padaya Nitya Kripadaya Nigopataya Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastavutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So 16th chapter is called Divine and Demoniac Nature. Now why are we studying demoniac nature? I can understand we are studying divine nature because we want to acquire those qualities. So why are we studying demoniac nature? Yes. Aditya? Oh. Well, he was quick. You were slow to raise your hand. Next time, okay? Next time, okay. Why are we studying demoniac qualities?
So we can't do it.
Yeah, very good. So be careful not to acquire those qualities or not to manifest those qualities. So one may argue, well, I'm a devotee, I'm chanting Hare Krishna. How can I have demoniac qualities? What do you think? Yes, due to influence of Maya, one can get demoniac qualities. That's true. Yeah, good answer. Use microphone. Yeah.
Because
Hold closer.
Krishna says in this, that this is born of nature. Everything is born of nature. Even the demonic quality is born of your nature. Is coming from the previous births or what you have acquired.
Yes, very good answer. And the fact that we are born in Kali Yuga, Kali is the ocean Nidhe Rajan. Kali Yuga is the ocean of faults. So who doesn't have faults? We all have faults. So the demonic nature is there in us. And in Kali Yuga, both divine and demoniac are in the same person. We discussed that earlier, right? That's why it is not surprising that sometimes devotees exhibit demoniac qualities. In fact, sometimes devotees exhibit more demoniac qualities than even the non-devotees. That's even more surprising, isn't it? Some of these qualities look at, I think, that looks like me. That looks like me too. I can see my qualities there. Pride, arrogance, conceit. Oh my God, that's full description. So how come a devotee is exhibiting these qualities? You should expect less of these qualities. Yes, Shimali Prabhu. Give the microphone.
Can we say, Prabhu, that whilst we are trying to purify ourselves, more of these qualities are coming out, or they are being.
Very
it's like
good.
that example that when we are trying to clean the utensils, and long time ago I saw that email from one of the Prabhus. And that's what he thinks when he's cleaning the utensils. All the dirt which is coming out from the utensils is like the dirt which is coming out from ourselves inside.
That's
So the
true.
more we try to clean ourselves, more we
Yes.
try to purify ourselves, the dirt is coming out.
Yes.
So sometimes we see that more of the anarthas are being exhibited,
Yes.
and it's because of the purification process.
Yes. And then we should not, and if we see the anarthas in ourselves, we should take a humble position. If we see the anarthas in other devotees, we should not ride the high horse and think, look at me, I am better than them. Then immediately pride comes in, and that pride is worse than the other devotee's fault. So pride and envy, two qualities we discussed earlier. There are two qualities. Krishna wants us to work on them with the help of Guru, and simply by chanting Hare Krishna, pride and envy won't go away. Because the devotional service removes all other anarthas. But pride and envy, we have to consciously endeavor and beg for mercy from Guru and Krishna to take these qualities out. If we don't do that, then it is very hard to access the other good qualities. So the main obstacles to our acquiring divine qualities is pride and envy. And these two Krishna will not purify. He is Lord Balaram purifies these two qualities, and Lord Balaram's representative is Guru. spiritual master. So spiritual master's guidance and guidance of spiritual master doesn't mean only Diksha Guru, it means also Shiksha Gurus. We must have Diksha and Shiksha Gurus. So spiritual masters is plural here, meaning that we can get instruction from many devotees. Spiritual master is not always by our side unless we are very advanced. So we need to get guidance from Shiksha Gurus also. And with their help, begging for mercy, by engaging in humble service to the advanced devotees, we can beg for the strength to overcome this pride and envy. So the moment you start belittling other devotees, or think less of other devotees, pride takes over. When pride takes over, then everything collapses. See, even gopis, what to speak of us, and they had a slight pride that, oh, Krishna is only dancing with me, I am so fortunate. That slight trace, which is nothing, which we are not qualified to even comment on, but our Acharya has said, so we are repeating, that Krishna does not tolerate pride in devotee. The moment pride comes, it blocks devotional service completely. Even though we may be doing devotional service, but it's not actually, it's only just external. Internally it's not happening. Like we chant Krishna's name, but Krishna is not there in the name. We're doing deity worship, but deity is not accepting our service. So we externally may be doing all puja and everything. So something we have to be very careful about. Nobody should think that I am beyond all that. Whether you're old devotee, young devotee, grihastha, sannyasi, brahmachari, it doesn't matter. All of us are having this, have to overcome this problem, isn't it? All of us have to face it. It's not only for one person. And that is the root cause of these demoniac qualities. As we'll see, this in the beginning, Krishna talks about pride, arrogance and conceit, isn't it? Which verse is that? Pride, arrogance and conceit. Text number 4, yeah. Let's read the translation of that one.
Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of the demonic nature, O son of Partha.
So you see, pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness and ignorance. So these are demonic qualities. And these are very dangerous, very detrimental to our spiritual life, because very often they lead to committing offenses. And we don't want to do that, because that just destroys the whole Bhakti Lata Bij. The creeper of devotion is destroyed when you commit offenses. So the key to avoiding offenses is to avoid these qualities, to be mindful of these qualities: pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness and ignorance. So what is the remedy Prabhupada gives in the purport there? The next verse. Next verse. Next verse. What does Krishna say? Text number 5. Read at the microphone.
The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Partha, son of Pandu, for you are born with divine qualities.
So in the purport, what does Prabhupada say in the first 2 sentences?
Lord Krishna encouraged Arjuna by telling him that he was not born with demonic qualities. His involvement in the fight was not demonic because he was considering the pros and cons.
So stop there for a minute. He was considering the pros and cons. In other words, if we become victims of pride and arrogance and conceit if we act whimsically. We don't consider the pros and cons. We don't think what should be done, what should not be done. Think carefully before you do something. Think carefully before you say something. Very easy to react to some situation, and then that may lead to that. Okay? And then or the next sentence, what does it say in purport?
He was considering whether respectable persons such as Bhishma and Drona should be killed or not. So he was not acting under the influence of anger, false prestige or harshness. Therefore, he was not of the quality of the demon.
Yes. That's the answer. The answer is that he was considering the pros and cons, as not acting under the influence of anger, false prestige or harshness. Because when you act out of false ego, then we are influenced by anger, false prestige and harshness. These qualities, they take over. The demonic qualities take over. And we act, or rather react to that in that way. And when we react in that way, we exhibit the demonic qualities. So therefore here, Krishna is advising that, the Prabhupada is adding to the purport, that we have to consider the pros and cons. And consider pros and cons means taking instructions. And taking instruction means taking instruction from Prabhupada's books. See, very often, especially when you're involved in management, it is very difficult to understand. Prabhupada said, right, spiritual solutions to material problems. Spiritual solution. We should look for spiritual solution. How do you look for spiritual solution? By following instructions and by reading the books. Right? When you read Prabhupada's books, you look for spiritual solution. If you don't read Prabhupada's books, you don't take instruction, what happens is we are tempted to look for political solutions to material problems. We'll try to use politics to solve the problem. Because in the material world, that's what people do, right? They want to get something, they can't get it, they use politics. They use influence, they use minister, they call a minister, they bribe somebody. So these are political solutions. Or they go and threaten somebody, or they go and beat up somebody, call a gunda and beat up. So these are political solutions to material problems, manipulate situations. So these are, why we go to political solutions? Because we don't know spiritual solutions. Why we don't know spiritual solutions? Is because we're not reading Prabhupada's books, because we're not taking guidance from those who are reading Prabhupada's books. So in other words, not taking guidance from Prabhupada, we're using our own false ego to decide, I didn't like this, so I'm going to do something. I like this, very nice, very good. I'll praise this devotee, I'll hate that devotee. So these are problems we face when we are not conversant with the Prabhupada's teachings, or rather Krishna's teachings, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam especially. If we don't read carefully, carefully study these books, then we are misguided. And then we take improper action, which we later on regret. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Of course, it's not the end of the world. We can always learn from our mistakes and we can always make progress. The mistakes will be there. Out of fear of mistakes, we should not stop doing things. Should not stop our service. Oh, I make mistake, better I don't do any service. Just stay at home, chant my rounds. That is also not very nice. Prabhupada has given us this wonderful process of Krishna consciousness, which we are enjoying so much, getting so much benefit. We should share with others. And in the course of sharing, there will be challenges. There will be difficulties. We'll come across our own demonic qualities. We'll see demonic qualities from others. But that should not put us off. We should just read this and understand, okay, this is happening because of this reason. And therefore I am not get disturbed. I'll continue my devotion service and I'll sincerely chant holy name. I'll sincerely read Bhagavad Gita. I'll sincerely associate with devotees who are doing that. And in that atmosphere, I can see things clearly. Where things are going wrong, we can see things very clearly. Krishna gives the intelligence. Tesham tatyuktanam dadami buddhiyogam tam. Dadami says, I give the intelligence by which you can come to me. So we are all struggling. We are all struggling. We are all work in progress devotees. We are not pure devotees yet. At least speaking for myself, not a pure devotee at all. So we have a long way to go. But that should not discourage us. These qualities are there to remind us how we should be careful. So I just thought I'll give a bit of background to what we discussed. So we continue the translation. Yes, Prabhu?
I think the last line in the purport, Prabhu, is also very important.
Yeah.
Anyone who performs the regulative principles of the different orders of life is transcendently situated. So it's really, whatever order of life we are in, if we are following the instructions in that particular order, then, that also helps.
Yes, that is very good. Yes. It's because all the orders of life, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grahastha, they are all aimed at, what is the aim of all the following the orders of life? Yes, Dashat Priya Prabhu? Yes. Very good. Samsiddhim Haritoshanam. Haritoshanam. The goal is Samsiddhim Haritoshnam. Bhagavatam first canto says, to please Lord Hari. That is the goal. Okay, so as long as that goal is there in front of us, then even if there are mistakes, they'll get rectified. We should not be afraid. Better to try and fail than not try at all, isn't it? After all, failure today is success tomorrow. No one became success overnight, right? First day itself they did something very success. Some rare cases are there. I know a few devotees who first day itself start chanting 16 rounds. Very first day. But you don't find too many of those devotees. That is not to be expected. So there will be mistakes, there will be failures, there will be things going wrong. But we should not get discouraged by these things. After all, Krishna is our father. He is not our punishing Lord. Krishna is not sitting there to punish us. He is there to help us. So we should have that faith that Krishna will protect us, Krishna will help us. He is our Lord, He is our Master, He is our Supreme Father. So He is our well-wisher. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. He is our well-wisher. So naturally, He is going to be merciful to us. But then, to attract that mercy, we have to avoid pride. Pride, Krishna will not give, will withdraw mercy. Immediately withdraw mercy when there is pride in the devotee's heart. When they are doing something out of pride, immediately Krishna withdraws the mercy, isn't it? Like we saw in the case of Indra, in the case of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. Whenever there is a symptom of pride is there, immediately Krishna withdraws the mercy. Temporarily, not forever, temporarily, so that they understand, oh, I acted in pride. And I have so many experiences in our life we have. 11 January went back to work after 3 weeks break. And I was telling, oh, we should start in the work, we'll start Bhakti Vriksha now, week 1 and everything. First week, no one spoke to me. Nobody, none of the students came. We had about 6 or 7. Nobody came and talked to me. Then I thought, maybe I become too proud that I'm doing Bhakti Vriksha at work. Other Gopinath, I'm sorry if I have done that. I'm telling everyone, so that we can encourage others to do the same. I'm not thinking that I'm great, but Krishna has given the facility. I'm very sorry. The next day itself they said, okay, we have booked the appointment, we're going to start 2 classes per week. So they got a recurring appointment in the first week. They're busy, so they couldn't get their head around. But I thought it was very nice, very nice to see this. If there's a pride in what you're saying, you're thinking that you're a great preacher or whatever, then it is not a desire. Krishna doesn't like that. He said, immediately cuts it off. And the moment realize, yes, I made a mistake. That's not right. I shouldn't be doing it like that. So like that, we have to examine our motives at every stage, small or big. We have to examine our motives. When we remove the pride element, immediately Krishna reciprocates. But if you maintain our pride, no, I'm only doing that to encourage devotees, and me in pride, no way. That is only pride. If someone thinks I have no pride, that is the biggest pride. The moment we see pride in everything we are doing, then we think, oh. And I have seen that so many times in my personal experience, and I've seen other devotees, and we read in the Bhagavatam as well, that when we curb our pride, it's a wonderful victory. It's a beautiful victory. But then we should not be proud that I have conquered pride. So it's a vicious circle. And very careful. But Krishna is there. He's there to purify us. He's there to help us. He's not our enemy. He's not there to put us down. He's there to give us help. But we should become eligible for that. Eligibility is humility. Yesterday I was reading that one aspect of humility is tolerance. If we can manifest tolerance, that is a sign of humility. Because I can say, Prabhuji, I'm very fallen and fall at the feet, Mataji, you're very great. And I can say things like that, but in my heart I can still carry pride. But tolerance, you can't pretend. Tolerance is one quality you cannot pretend. And that is a real test of humility. Real test of humility, if I am able to tolerate. Tolerate, like Radhanath Maharaj says, he quotes Prabhupada, of course, a provoking situation. The greatness of an individual is tested is how he reacts to a provoking situation. When the situation is very provoking, very negative and very insulting, and how you react to that. that shows the greatness of a person. And that gives us the foundation for humility. And humility is a wonderful quality which attracts Krishna. Immediately attracts Krishna. While pride, Krishna withdraws. Humility, Krishna is attracted. So you can see the demoniac qualities are there. There's also a divine quality behind that. And you see, and you apply this anywhere, at work, at home, in society, in the temple, among devotees. We can apply this everywhere. It's not something that only in the classroom we discuss and go home. No, it is something very much applicable, isn't it? Everywhere you can see. Another aspect of humility, one is tolerance. Other aspect of humility is gratitude. Being grateful. When we become grateful to someone, we cannot offend that person, isn't it? And what is the opposite of grateful? Ungrateful, yes. But it manifests in the form, in what form? How does it manifest itself? Ungrateful quality? Pride is one way. Other way is to take things for granted. Take for granted. Like children take parents for granted. Mom is always there. She'll always look after me. We take our parents for granted. We take elders for granted. We take each other for granted. In elders also, even each other, brothers and sisters, friends and friends. Is not to take anything for granted, but to value everything. So this is easier than to say I'm going to curb my pride. It's easier. To curb pride is not that easy. But it's easier to have tolerance, easier to have, at least I'm finding it like that, to have gratitude. When you do that, then these demoniac qualities, they will not enter us. And if they do enter, we can detect immediately, there I've been proud, there I'm being arrogant. I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have behaved like that. I'm trying to show I'm great, I'm such a great devotee, I'm a better devotee. So that pride comes in. So then we become more sensitive and we can pick up on these things. But don't worry, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. We should not punish ourselves. But we should learn from that mistake. When children make mistakes, we should not be upset with them. They make mistakes. Allow them to make mistakes. But we should be there to explain to them what is wrong, so that they can learn from the mistake and not make the same mistake again. And that way they are getting enriched. Every time you make a mistake, you learn from the mistake, then you become more wise. So like that. So these qualities you're seeing here, demonic mentality, I think we read 5, 6. Can you read number 6? Shivani Prabhu, you can read? Yeah. Text 6, where's the microphone? Read the translation. We read already the slokas, we just read the translation.
O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I have always explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac.
Very good. Next, Prabhu, you can get. Let's read the translation. Number 7.
Those who are demonic do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them.
So here the text 7 to 20 is officially all the demonic qualities. Before a little bit in 5 we mentioned a little bit, but here it's really starting now. Those 5 are the foundations of these future demonic qualities. What Krishna described, pride, arrogance, conceit, harshness, all those are the foundations of demonic qualities. Based on those qualities, you see the elaboration in the 7th text onwards. So the first demonic quality is they do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. And this can very easily happen for devotees. We take wrong decisions, we say wrong things. So this is the modes of material nature. In the mode of goodness, one knows what should be done and what should not be done. In mode of passion, what are the characteristics of mode of passion? Mode of goodness, we said, they know what should be done, what should not be done at the right time, right place. That is mode of goodness. Mode of passion, active, but we don't know what to be done. We're confused. Mode of passion is associated with confusion. We don't know what should be done, should not be. We are doubtful. That is mode of passion. And mode of ignorance? Yeah, exactly. Jitendra has got the right answer. We do what should not be done, and we are convinced that's the right thing should be done. We are convinced others as well. That's the right thing. That's the way it should be done. So mode of ignorance is asatyara satya kori mani. Asatyara satya kori mani. What is not to be done, we think that should be done, and what should not be done, we think that should be done. So not only there is confusion, but it is worst form of confusion. Mode of passion, at least you're not sure. There is confusion and you know you're confused. You are asking for guidance. Arjuna is confused whether to fight or not. He takes guidance. He knows, I'm confused. He knows. Mode of ignorance doesn't know that he is confused. That is worst confusion. It's one thing to be confused, but to be confused about confused is very bad. That's why my school teacher in Pune used to say in school, ignorance of ignorance is the worst form of ignorance. That's a very profound statement. You are ignorant, but at least you know, then you can do something. That is, you come to passion already. And if you take action, then it's mode of goodness. You take guidance, it becomes mode of goodness. So, not knowing whether what should be done, should not be done. Okay? So that is one of the characteristics of demonic quality. And they don't have cleanliness, nor proper behavior, nor truth. So they are unclean. We're going to discuss that more in the later verse today. What that uncleanliness means. Of course, Prabhupada talks about internal and external cleanliness here, but we'll come to more in the next verse. Okay, text number 8. Rashtra Priya Prabhu. Okay, who's you're next? Okay, Rastanand Prabhu, you got a mic. Okay, read. Yeah.
They say that this world is unreal with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust.
So the material world, that's the Freudian philosophy, isn't it? Everything is based on. Give to Hema Mataji next, okay, behind you. Then Dashrath Priya. If you're going in that order, might as well. Ready for next verse. So they say that everything is based on lust, and that is Freudian philosophy, isn't it? Sigmund Freud. And when devotees told Prabhupada, this Freud is talking that everything comes from sex, everything comes from lust. He's such a demoniac person. Prabhupada said, no, he's right. Devotees are shocked. How can everything be based on lust? He said, yes, in the material world everything is based on lust. People are working hard because of lust. They are earning money because of lust. They are doing so much endeavor to satisfy the lust. If it wasn't for lust, they wouldn't be working so hard. There's no impetus to work hard. So lust is born of mode of passion. And Mr. Passion makes everyone work very hard. 2 jobs sometimes, overtime, work, earn more money. It is due to lust. So this demonic quality, actually, so Prabhupada said Freud is correct. But he added, Prabhupada said, Freud doesn't know that there is a spiritual world and there is devotion service. He has no information about that. In the spiritual world, devotees act out of love for Krishna. The same lust is now transformed into love for Krishna. Out of love for Krishna, Mother Yashoda serves Krishna, Nanda Maharaj, the Brajabasis, out of love for Krishna. They are impelled by love, not by lust. The pure love for Krishna that makes them want to serve Krishna, to render devotion service. And they are working very hard for Krishna. And Prabhupada gives the example, people go to work, they get paid, but they hate their jobs. Isn't it? Very rarely people like their job. Most people hate their jobs. Or even they like it for some time. After 1 year, 2 years, they get bored. Today I was flying on the plane. The lady next to me was telling that she works for the helicopter service. They do rescue missions in New Zealand. They have people, helicopter, they go and they rescue people or they bring people to hospital. And she's in aviation service, hospital service, hauling helicopters. So she's working in that department, saying it's so exciting, I love my job. And I asked, how long you been there? Oh, I've been there only 6 months. I said, yeah. I didn't tell anything. I said, okay. That explains it. Give her a couple of years, if max, and she'll be fried. Because there's no taste in that. When you serve your senses, there's no taste. There's no reciprocation. Senses are demanding masters. Bifala sevino kripana durjana. I have uselessly served wicked and miserly masters. Wicked and miserly masters, isn't it? When you work hard for the boss, you don't feel satisfied. But on the other hand, Prabhupada said, people come to temple, they do service, they don't get paid. They give a donation, they feel more satisfied. So that is Krishna, isn't it? What is like to go to temple, like to do service. There's no pay there. So money can't be the criteria. If money was the base of working, then no one would work in the temple. It's not like that. Everywhere people do service. There was a survey done in New Zealand. I'm not sure it's whole of New Zealand or only Wellington. I didn't read it very carefully, but I saw the headlines. People have donated $1 billion to schools in the form of donations. They call it voluntary fees. They're not charged, but it must be whole of New Zealand. $1 billion in donations to schools. So people like to give. Not that people don't want to give. They want to give. They want to give for something. But that satisfaction is not there. When they give to Krishna, imagine giving us $1 billion. Oh, wow, you could build a few temples. Isn't it? I'm saying 10 million is enough for time being. 1 billion we can't handle. We might have a big problem. Sometimes too much money causes too much problem. We're not ready to handle big cash. You get 1 billion, you don't know what to do. So 1 billion is a lot of money. But people giving that money voluntarily, there's no fees, there's no tax, there's no charges, no one forced them to give. It's a voluntary contribution. So when you do that same thing for Krishna, it is satisfying. So here is mentioned that when you act out of lust, there is no satisfaction. Okay, text number 9. That we did last time. Hemati? Only translation writing, yeah.
Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works mean to destroy the world.
So here Krishna is saying that demoniac who lost to themselves, they are lost because they don't know what should be done, what should not be done, isn't it? They are ignorant. So what do they end up doing? They end up in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. And you see the scientific inventions, most of them are meant to destroy the world, whether it's motor car or electricity or therefore there is no benefit to themselves or to the world. Everything they do is contaminated. Okay, now text number 10. We should read the shloka today and the translation. We'll read the Sanskrit and the purport as well. So who is next? Dashath Prabhu, okay, you read the shloka and translation and yeah.
Kamam asritya duspuram damba mana madavita mohat gritavasat grahan pravartante suchi vratah. Translation. Taking shelter of insatiable lust, absorbed in the conceit of the pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusion, are always shown to unclear work attached by the impermanent.
Okay. Jitendra, read the purport.
The demoniac mentality is described here. The demons have no satiation for their lust. They will go on increasing and increasing their insatiable desires for material enjoyment. Although they are always full of anxieties on account of accepting non-permanent things, they still continue to engage in such activities out of illusion. They have no knowledge and cannot tell that they are heading the wrong way. Accepting non-permanent things, such demoniac people create their own god, create their own hymns, and chant accordingly. The result is that they become more and more attracted to two things: sex enjoyment and accumulation of material wealth. The word ashuchi vrataha, unclean vows, is very significant in this connection. Such demoniac people are only attracted by wine, women, gambling, and meat eating. Those are their ashuchi, unclean habits. Induced by pride and false prestige, they create some principles of religion which are not approved by the Vedic injunctions. Although such demoniac people are most abominable in the world, by artificial means the world creates a false honor for them. Although they are gliding toward hell, they consider themselves very much advanced.
Okay, so what is the main point in the purport?
That the demons have a mentality that of lust that can never be satisfied or satiated. Those desires only increase perennially. And because of those desires for temporary, non-permanent things, they're always full of anxieties and stresses of various kinds, and therefore they remain in illusion. And on top of that, in spite of all of that, they still don't realize that what they're doing is actually taking them toward hell. And because of their illusions and material desires, they create their own gods, their own prayers and stotras and hymns and so forth, and they just chant them. And in the process of all of that, they become increasingly attached to wine, women, gambling, meat eating, and so forth, material wealth, and therefore they make their either directly or even tacitly unclean vows. They have a deep desire within their heart, and therefore it's as good as making a vow. They're unclean vows, and therefore they engage in habits that are unclean, and they're induced by pride and false prestige. So they engage in all kinds of activities that aren't approved by the Vedas. And the worst part is that even though they do all that, the world honors them for their activities, when in fact they're actually gliding toward hell.
Very good. Very nice summary. Thank you. Beautiful. Covered all of them. So the three main points in this verse. What is the first main point here? They take shelter of lust. So that is the problem. Who should we take shelter of? Krishna, yes. Instead of taking shelter of Krishna, they take shelter of lust. Now why do they take shelter of lust?
Because they think that is the only thing which can make them happy.
Correct. That's the only thing. They think that's the only thing that can make me happy. Sorry, you're saying something? Yes, the enjoyment that comes from that sense enjoyment. Senses can come in contact with the sense objects. Yahi samspasya bhoga dukkha yonevate. In the 5th chapter we read, right? It gives some pleasure, but then it gives associated suffering. Dukkha yonevate. And that pleasure is adi antavanta konteya. It is adi, beginning, and anta, end. And nateshu ramate buddha. Aditya, we need you for the next verse, so sit down. You can't go far away. You can sit on the steps if you want. If you like to. It's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah. And I like to sit on steps. Now that doesn't mean everyone should go. Yeah. You're not doing the coloring anymore. You finished the coloring. It's nice. Got beautiful colors. I want to see by the time class finishes, you have Nursing there. Oh, Vasudev is taking Krishna. Anandishesh. Wow. Nice. So the first point is that they take shelter of lust. And what is the nature of the lust here? Insatiable. Right? What does insatiable means? Never satisfied. He'll never be satisfied. No materialistic person has ever said is satisfied. In fact, if he says satisfied, they think something wrong with him. Isn't it? They admire someone who is not satisfied, wants more and more, wants to do more and more. More and more enjoyment he goes for. Oh, this is very progressive. But where is he progressing? Towards hell, exactly. Adanta Gobil Vishatam Tamishram Puna Puna Charvita Charananam. That is what Prahlad Maharaj says in the 7th canto, right? Matirna Krishne Parto Satova Mithopadyat Griha Vratanam. Griha Vratanam. One has taken the vow that I will take shelter of lust. That person, Griha Vrata, is called a Griha Vrata. Vrata means vow. As a Griha Medi. He's taken a vow that I will enjoy my senses to the max. Then what happens to that Griha Vrata person? Adanta Govir. Yes, uncontrolled senses. Vishatam. Vishatam means enter. Vishnu comes from Vishatam. Vishnu means one who enters. It's another meaning of Vishnu, one who enters. Because Vishnu enters the material world. So it's called Vishnu, one who enters. Prabhishanti at Vishnu. One who enters is called Vishnu. So Vishate Tamishram. And then he is gliding towards hell. Let's Prabhupada paraphrase that in that purport. Gliding towards hell. Because of uncontrolled senses and Griha Vrata.
Prabhu, I was thinking of...
Yeah, you go first. Sorry.
I was thinking of the shloka Tatharupa Mula Visheshanena Trupyanti, I can't remember the next part. As they don't know about the source of the senses, which is the source of the eternal enjoyment.
You're echoing too much. I can't hear you.
They don't know what is the source of the real happiness. What is the root cause of the real happiness? So they actually run behind the senses. So I think it's chapter 15 where we saw that we have to water the roots of the tree rather than they water the roots of not roots but the leaves and the flowers and the fruits and everything, and that's where they go wrong because they don't water
they don't know the root.
Yeah, so they don't believe in the soul.
Yeah. True, because they know information of soul and super soul, so they feel that the more the senses are sense enjoyment, that is a success. Yeah, it's true. Is that true?
I just wanted to ask what the term Griha means, because we have Grihastha, Griha Medi, and Griha Vrata now as well.
Yeah.
So what exactly does Griha mean?
Griha means a home. Okay, it depends on the context. Grihastha means the home becomes an ashram. The home is an ashram. Ashram means ashraya, one who gives shelter. So in the Grihastha ashram, when the home is a shelter, when the householders are sense controlled, they control the senses, engage in devotional service, then the Grihastha ashram becomes a source of strength or shelter for other ashrams. The brahmachari, the vanaprastha, the sannyasi, especially brahmachari and sannyasis, they are supported by the Grihastha ashram. Becomes an ashram, where the goal is to please samsiddhi haritoshanam, to please the Lord, and the senses are controlled, not let loose, not uncontrolled senses. So that is Grihastha. Griha Medi, again Prahlad Maharaj described in the 7th canto, is one whose senses are not controlled, and they see the householder life as an opportunity to gratify their senses. Whether it's due to sex desire, or whether due to accumulation of wealth, accumulation of properties, accumulation of That's what is mentioned here. Through illegal means they earn money through illegal means. So that is a Griham Edis mentality, because he sees the world for his enjoyment and he wants to exploit the world for his pleasure, for his own sense enjoyment. And because that's a demonic mentality. Because first of all, the world doesn't belong to us. Secondly, the senses don't belong to us. Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchyate. The senses are meant to serve Rishikesh, the master of the senses. But instead, we're using the senses to serve, to gratify our own, for our own enjoyment, personal enjoyment, separate from Krishna. Enjoying with Krishna is not wrong. Enjoyment is not wrong. Enjoying with Krishna is not wrong. But enjoying separate from Krishna is demoniac. And that is where the problem is. Whereas a devotee, his enjoyment or her enjoyment comes from giving pleasure to Krishna. What will give pleasure to Krishna? What will give pleasure to my spiritual master? What will give pleasure to the Vaishnavas, the devotees? That is the mood, is in giving pleasure. In giving pleasure, naturally, you also get pleasure. You're not left out high and dry. Because that is the beauty of devotion service. So Grihastha means sense controlled in essence. Okay, there's a whole chapter on ideal family life in 7th canto. Prahlad Maharaj talks in detail. But in essence, that is a Grihastha. Grihamedi is what we said in the earlier verse. Grihavrata. The Grihavrata is associated with Grihamedi.
The basic definition is home.
Yeah, around the home, as far as Grihastha is concerned. Because this is for householders, this is the, the concession, at the same time the trap. While there's a concession, householder can accumulate wealth. Householder can have property, can have a house, can own a house, can wear nice clothes. But there is also restriction and all that. One should not indulge in that just to show off. Then it becomes demoniac, which is what we are reading here. That's a Griham-edi. Yan Maithunadi, Griham-edi Tucham. Maithuna means sex life. It's all centered on sex life. That is a Griham-edi.
That's the reason I asked that question, is because Griha in the olden days could have meant home, but nowadays they have all of that without necessarily basing it on a home and a family and so forth.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Especially in Kali Yuga,
Yeah.
Griha could not necessarily mean a family, just material enjoyment in general, and they have a vow to
of course.
enjoyment.
Yeah, that's right. But then you see, even though he may not have a house as such, but he has some facility, some apartment or some hotel or some brothel even. That's taken as a place for him to satisfy his senses, or to a liquor bar or pub. Some kind of a building, some kind of a accommodation is required for these things. You can't do it under a tree. You got to have some facilities. That's why the word Griha is used there, even though it may not be a home as we define Griha. Griha means a home. Griham Andakupam is also described. So Griha does not only mean a home, can be a deep dark well, bottomless well. And this Griham Andakupam, it says. So Griha means some kind of a residential facility or some kind of accommodation. Depends on the context you're using, so it does vary a lot. Thank you. Okay, so this verse has three main points. First point is that we're taking the demoniac people, they take shelter of insatiable lust. Yeah, lust, correct. And what is the second point? The acting out of pride and false prestige. Acting out of pride and false prestige. So in that, religion also comes. They also follow religious principles. Why they follow religious principles? To show they are very nice people, to make a profile in society, to be seen in the right circle. Sometimes people come to festivals and all just to show, to be seen as very pious people. They come and put donation in front of everyone so that you can see. Here's my $10 going in. Or they put, worst is the Bhagavatam class, they come and they put all their piggy bank, they empty it, clank, 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 clank. You're trying to hear Bhagavatam, and hundi box is getting 5 cents and 10 cents. It makes look like a lot of money, but he wants everyone to know, look, I'm giving money in the middle of the Bhagavatam class. They don't know. So, pride and false prestige. Out of conceit, pride and false prestige. So these are the... So one can be apparently religious. So they're doing it to show off, A, and B, the principles of religion are not based on the Vedas, as Jitendra summarized very nicely. That's not based on scriptures. And the third is they're sworn to unclean work. Now what is unclean work? But here in this purport, that was the previous purport. In this purport, what does Prabhupada say about cleanliness? Yes. So, breaking the 4 regulative principles. Basically breaking the 4 principles. When we break the 4 principles, we become unclean. Even though cleanliness is associated with illicit sex, we lose cleanliness. But cleanliness is lost even by meat eating, gambling, intoxication. All of them are unclean. So they are attracted to the impermanent because they engage in sinful activities, especially breaking the 4 regulative principles. And by doing so, they are gliding towards hell. Now, out of the 4, 2 are mentioned, specifically mentioned here, primarily 2. What are the 2? No. Yeah. Accumulation of wealth and sex enjoyment. So whose name represents those 2? Hiranyakashipu, right. Hiranya means gold. Kashipu means soft bed. So his very name is Hiranyakashipu. The name like that, you can't go wrong. You know what your priorities are. Hiranya is first priority and Kashipu is the second priority. So Hiranyakashipu is very clear. His mission statement is very clear. Mission is, what is the mission? To go to hell. What are the values? Hiranya and Kashipu. The 2 values. So these are described as demoniac qualities. Okay, so we'll go to the next verse now. Text number 11. Yes, Prabhu.
But Prabhu, these so-called people, what Prabhupada describes over here, at some point in the previous lives or some point they would have done some pious activities because of which they are getting the material, again, so-called material benefits, maybe wealth, maybe acquired in the wrong way, but they are up there in the society. So
correct.
They would have got that. So.
They're misusing that, yeah. Even human birth they're misusing. And in the human birth they're affluent, they're well off, they're wealthy. They're misusing the wealth also. So it's a matter of time before it gets cut off. Sometimes we see people overnight from riches to rags. Overnight they're jump off the building, that's it. It's happened. Boom and crash. That happen. And the other way around also it happens. From rags to riches. At least if they go from rags to riches, chances are they know the value of money because they've worked hard and earned it. There's a possibility that they'll empathize with others who don't have wealth, and then at least they might do some charity. But those who go from riches to rags, it's very hard. They can't handle it. They're used to a lifestyle which they can't afford anymore. And then the body is not cooperating, very old. They can't enjoy like before. And others who work very more of passion, they work very hard. So one day they'll have enough money to enjoy. By the time the body is too old, they can't enjoy. And they feel, oh, that's why the young people are saying this. Be smart, you enjoy now. Don't wait for later. So they think that is a better option. And you see people spend, credit card is introduced for that purpose. So you spend now, I can pay back later. Young you can enjoy, old you cannot enjoy. So better to enjoy now, and then later on your credit card can be paid in old age. No, you pay money now, And when you're old, you have money, what's the use? Like one career counseling mentor came to my son's school in Melbourne and he said, I think I told you that before, maybe I did say that. He came, motivational speaker, career counseling for, this is, what do they call, selective schools, the very top cream of Victoria, top 5% of Victoria. So he told them, that, you see, I always wanted to be a millionaire when I'm 21, when I'm young, not when I'm old, fat, flabby, bald, 50-year-old man. What can I enjoy? I want to be when I'm young, 21. So my goal in life was to become a millionaire and to drive a Ferrari. And he said, yes, now I got my Ferrari when I was 21. I became a millionaire when 21. But I also became bald when I was 21. They were saying that you can't have everything. This insatiable lust, you'll never be satisfied. So at 21 already is bald, no hair. Of course, devotees voluntarily shave up, that's the thing. At least become a devotee, he won't look so bad then. But tilak, he'll be accepted. Oh, he's bald, okay. He's one of us. Mr. Baldy. Yeah. So because of that, their attitude is demoniac. They want to somehow or other try to enjoy the sense. That's all they know. They don't know any better. Actually, Prabhupada in Melbourne, he started crying. They had gone to the botanical garden, an early morning walk, and they were coming back. On the way back, he saw cars going up and down. And Melbourne, you see St. Kilda Road, botanical gardens. It's very busy time. Peak hour traffic, all the traffic trying to get into the city simultaneously. And Prabhupada's in tears. And devotee said, why? He said, they don't know the aim of life. They're suffering and they're thinking they're enjoying. They're working so hard to satisfy lust which will never be satisfied. He's feeling so sorry for them. Their future is so bleak. So a devotee's attitude towards demoniac quality is not one of condescending attitude. Devotee should not have a condescending attitude, but rather should be compassionate and think that these people, they don't know any better. They have to be trained. That's why they give out books, they give out. This is why Nityananda Prana is here today. Extend the compassion to those people who are less fortunate than us, who don't have this knowledge, who don't have this facility to understand where they're going wrong. Okay, so we'll read 11 and 12. Maybe the boys can read the verse and you can read the translation of Mathura Gopal. Mic.
Chintama parimeyamscha
Chintam parivekaksha
Layantamupashitaha
Hridayantam upashritaha
Kamopabhoga parma
Mopabhoga parama
Etavaditi nishita
Etavaditi nischita. No, read the next verse.
Asha pashashatervadda
Asha pashashatair baddha
Kama krodha parayana
Kama krodha parayana
Ihante kama bhogartham
Yante kama bhogartam
Anyayenartha sanjayat
Anyananartha sanchayan.
They believe that the gratify the sense of the senses is the prime necessity of human self-realization. Thus, until the end of the life, their anxiety is immeasurable, bound by the network of hundreds of thousands of desires and are absorbed in lust and anger. They secure money by ego means the for sense gratification.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Aditya. Okay. Maybe it's read the purport. Manibhushana Mataji. Read the first paragraph of the purport. Yes.
The demonic accept that the enjoyment of the senses is the ultimate goal of life, and this concept they maintain until death. They do not believe in life after death, and they do not believe that one takes on different types of bodies according to one's karma or activities in this world. Their plans for life are never finished, and they go on preparing plan after plan, all of which are never finished. We have personal experience of a person of such demonic mentality who even at the point of death was requesting the physician to prolong his life for 4 years more because his plans were not yet complete. Such foolish people do not know that a physician cannot prolong life even for a moment. When the notice is there, there is no consideration of the man's desire. The laws of nature do not allow a second beyond what one is destined to enjoy.
Okay. Vrindavan Pallimachi, read the last paragraph.
The demonic person who has no faith in God or the supersoul within himself performs all kinds of sinful activities simply for sense gratification. He does not know that there is a witness sitting within his heart. The supersoul is observing the activities of the individual soul. As it is stated in the Upanishads, there are two birds sitting in one tree. One is acting and enjoying or suffering the fruits of the branches, and the other is witnessing. But one who is demonic has no knowledge of Vedic scripture, nor has he any faith. Therefore, he feels free to do anything for sense enjoyment, regardless of the consequence. Krishna.
Thank you. So, first paragraph, Manibhushita Mataji, what are the main points there Prabhupada is making? Where's the microphone?
Quality person, the demonic person actually thinks the ultimate goal is enjoying his senses, and he's not aware of the death, that death would come anytime. And Prabhupada says, like, he gives an example of a person who is about to die, and he still wants a physician to prolong his death, so he can just enjoy whatever he has plans, for his future. So he is not complete with the future plans, and still he wants to complete. So he's not aware that death can come anytime. So he's only worried about his senses enjoyment. So that is one quality of demonic.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu. Very good.
Prabhu, I was listening to the news and something. There is something called as a bucket list. The people who are actually on the verge of like a terminal disease, like diseases, they have a bucket list, and people are actually sponsoring, saying that they should be able to complete their bucket list of whatever list they have, or at least few of the tasks before they leave this body. But no one is actually interested in telling them that we are not the body. So this is kind of, and I believe those people who are actually donating, they also fall in the demoniac sort of characteristics.
Out of ignorance. Prabhupada says that they're unaware of the super soul, Paramatma. Right? They don't know there's Paramatma there. Very true. So that example Prabhupada gives of his professor in school, Scottish Church College. The professor said that the Hindu law of karma is bogus because there's no witness. And Prabhupada said that he doesn't know that actually Paramatma is a witness. If we are suffering in this lifetime for something wrong we did in the last life, But we don't remember that. So it appears to be unfair. But the fact that we remember or don't remember is not the question. The question is what we did. We are accountable because Paramatma is a witness. He knows what we did wrong, but we did right. Accordingly, the result is there. So they believe that goal of life is sense gratification simply because they are unaware of Paramatma. They are unaware of the soul even. Atma Gyan is not there. And because of that ignorance, they are simply trying to satisfy the senses, because that's something they can tangibly feel. And that's why the Prabhupada gives example of the man who wanted to prolong his life. I mean, what about Walt Disney? They have preserved his life, his body, not life, his body in some liquid nitrogen or something, so that one day they'll be able to bring him back to life. They're spending so much money on that. The Walt Disney Foundation is paying for that. Huge amount of money. And they're thinking one day it will be preserved. Now they don't know what to do. They are no closer to coming back to life than when it was when he died. So having all that money still doesn't help that person, and they don't know. And meanwhile they've lost the opportunity. Like I said, bucket list, they make a list, and so what if their wish is fulfilled? Will they be satisfied? Will they say, okay, now I'm happy, I'll leave this world? It will never be satisfying. Always there is hankering for something we don't have. And when you get it, it is not satisfying. That's why Krishna says, Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. No hankering, no lamentation. 18th chapter is this. So that is Brahmabhuta platform. But Krishna Bhakti is beyond Brahmabhuta. Mad Bhaktim labate param. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim labate param. So devotional service is beyond Brahmabhuta platform. Because Brahmabhuta platform is simply cessation of misery, which is not happiness. It simply means absence of pain. Just because your back is not hurting doesn't mean that you are happy. Okay, your back is not hurting, that's good, you don't have back pain, that's nice. But that doesn't mean you are happy. So the devotional service, on the other hand, gives that happiness. And what is the second point, Mataji, you read? Rabindranath Pali? Yeah, they don't have faith in Super Soul. And what else? They want to secure money, right? Earn money by illegal means. And yeah, please hold the mic closer.
In the Upanishads, they said the two birds sitting sloka.
What are the two birds?
Super soul and the soul. Like enjoying, and the Paramatma enjoying the super soul.
So the Atma is enjoying, the enjoying bird is the Atma. When he's trying to eat the fruits, sometimes you get a sweet fruit, sometimes you get a bitter fruit. And the witnessing bird is the Paramatma. So what is he waiting for? What is Paramatma waiting for?
When we turn to him to
Correct. When he's waiting for the Atma bird to turn to him for shelter, for help. So when he turns towards Paramatma, Paramatma is very pleased and he reciprocates. That's the example given. So Paramatma never leaves us. He's always with us. In every species of life we take birth, Paramatma is there, guiding us and waiting for us to come back to him. That's why when a devotee performs devotional service, he gives out prasad, or gives out books, or gives out the holy name, then that person receives that, becomes very blessed. Because then they are able to begin their devotional life. So good example is the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras, they were on the Brahman platform, Brahmabhuta platform, completely self-realized, on the Brahman platform, completely Brahman realized. But they had not experienced the sweetness of devotional service. So, but when they smelled the tulsi, that was their introduction to devotional service. Immediately the senses became enlivened, and they couldn't believe the senses. We're trying to control the senses, subdue them. Now they have become so active. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? They are worried. This is an experience they never had. So then the whole Leela takes place. Same with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. When he was chanting, when he got initiated by Ishvara Puri in Gaya, he had gone to do Shraddha for his father in Gaya, Jagannath Mishra's Shraddha, and there he met his Guru, Ishvara Puri, and he got initiated by him. And his Guru told him, what was the instruction he gave him? What was the instruction Ishvara Puri gave to Lord Chaitanya at the time of his initiation? Yeah? You are a fool. Forget studying Vedanta. And chant Hare Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya started, and he quoted the verse to Lord Chaitanya, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam, Kalo nasteva 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 tirannat. He quoted that verse. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way. And who was he saying that to? The greatest scholar of the time, Nimai Pandit. He told him, this is all useless. Waste of time. And then Lord Chaitanya started chanting Hare Krishna. What happened then? He felt bliss and ecstasy. He couldn't realize. Of course, he's the Lord. He knows everything. But still, in the Leela, he couldn't figure out what's happening. He went back to Ishvara Puri. He said, my dear sir, you asked me to chant Hare Krishna. I'm chanting, but when I chant, I'm feeling all these symptoms. What is happening to me? I'm crying. I'm getting all these symptoms of ecstasy. I don't know what is happening to me. And what did Ishvara Puri say? He said, you're very fortunate. Not just normal, but he said, you're very fortunate. You're blessed. Very blessed. Immediately you're getting these ecstatic symptoms. It takes millions of lifetimes to get that. You're getting it immediately. You're so fortunate. He said, you're blessed. On the other hand, new devotees, they come to Prabhupada and they said, oh Prabhupada, when you start chanting Hare Krishna, I hear sounds in my ear, I hear bell ringing, and I hear this, I hear that. What did Prabhupada say? He said, keep chanting, it will go away. Ecstasy is not so cheap. Mahaprabhu did that. That's a different thing. We can't imitate Mahaprabhu. So like that, the experience of devotion service is not there in the Brahmabhuta platform, or to speak of material platform. There's no question. But Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Rochate. But to engage the same senses. Instead of serving our own senses, we try to use them in Krishna's service. Instead of our own gratification, then immediately experience is different. And that devotion service, which we are hankering for really, but instead of finding that happiness in devotion service by going out to the movies, to the malls, to the cricket ground. Yesterday in Wellington, they were all going to see the cricket match in Westpac Stadium. They're asking, are you coming? I said, no, I'm going to Sydney. They wanted to go. Yesterday the match was there, no? Oh really? Oh yeah, that's true. They're thinking tennis open or cricket. Now everyone knows I'm a devotee. So, it's a gone case. They're trying to sell me a ticket. 2 for 1. I said not interested. So they all went to see the cricket match in Wellington. Yeah. So they waste their time like that, isn't it? They don't know the aim of life. And so they're wasting their valuable life. In that cricket match time you can do 16 rounds. You can read Bhagavad Gita 1 chapter the time you watch the match. You eat tons of prasad. You can do so much in that time. Every minute is precious. And as we grow older, we realize it more and more. Not to take for granted this life. Not take for granted. Every minute is precious. Okay. Do we have time to read the next set of verses? We'll try anyway. We'll give it a try. Was not read. Devaki Mataji. 13 to 15. Actually, the boys can do the Sanskrit. Where are they? Lokar, yeah, Lokar. Lokar. And Devaki Machi will do the translation. Okay.
Idamabhya maya labdam.
Idamabhya maya labdam.
Imam prapse manoratam.
Imam prapse manoratam.
Idamastamapi me.
Astidamapi me.
Vishyati punardhanam.
Vishyati punardhanam.
Asomayatha shatru.
Shomaya shatru.
Hanishe chaparanapi.
Anishe chaparanapi.
Ishvaroham maham bhogi.
Ishvaroham maham bhogi.
Siddhoham balavan sukhi.
Siddhoham balavan sukhi.
Adyo bhijanavanasmi.
Padmasmi.
Konusti shadrusho maya.
Nono Didasanaya.
Dasyami modishya.
Yakshe dasya vimodiksha.
Idyananami mohita.
Yadyanamagomita. Very good. Devaki Maji, translation.
The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy. I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
So what are the main points in this verse?
He thinks that everything is his.
Yes.
And he plans on how he can increase.
Yes.
And
He thinks that he is a proprietor. And how to increase his, and
that he has control over everything.
Yes.
He's surrounded by aristocratic relatives. And he thinks that just by performing some sacrifices and charity, he's achieved everything. He thinks.
He shows that he's a good man.
Yeah.
I'm doing so much good to others. So which example comes to mind when you read this description? Duryodhana? Yes. He made so many plans to kill the Pandavas, to get the kingdom. Hiranyakashipu also. Kamsa also. Ravana. In fact, Ravana, what does the name Ravana mean? Ravana means one who makes the whole world cry. That is Ravana. So his techniques were so excessive. Talk of terrorism, that was big time terrorism. What these people are doing is small compared to that. Anybody went against him, they were all immediately killed. Same with Kamsa also, Hiranyakashipu. They wouldn't tolerate anybody else. So Hiranyakashipu's biggest challenge was his own son, who went against him. So for him it was very difficult. On one hand, as a father, he had love for his son. On the other hand, his son was doing exactly opposite of what he wanted. So he was very frustrated. And because of offending Prahlad, that became the cause of his death. Of course, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they are Jaya Vijay, that's another Leela. They are alright, they're going to be taken care of. There is no purport for this verse, so next week we can start from, try to complete the chapter. How many verses are there? 20 or 24? Yeah, maybe we'll take 2 weeks then. 2 sections will complete. Yeah, Mataji.
Prabhu, this definition, I feel that at the moment current society is teaching all these values to the kids to become a nice person.
Yes.
That you should have wealth, you should increase your power, you should have good qualification, you should be the enjoyer.
Yeah.
You should, I mean, if something bad is happening to the person who has done something wrong with you, then you feel that, yes, because he is my enemy and he has done something wrong with me, that's why he got punished. So the society is at the moment training everyone to be like this.
True.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, that's why the Krishna conscious movement is going against the tide of society, going opposite direction. Society, Kali Yuga is going downhill, going down, degrading. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is going against the current, in the opposite direction. So this 10,000 years is a golden age. This golden age is an opportunity for us to reverse the Kali Yuga. And those who can take advantage of that, they will get the benefit of Lord Chaitanya's movement. So the children are already exposed here, so they know, okay, if you make wealth by some good fortune, use that for Krishna's service. That way you are utilizing it properly. At the same time, if you're not able to make wealth sometimes, that's alright. We just tolerate that. One doesn't get obsessed with that. That is why Prabhupada warned devotees that, yes, okay to go and get a job outside and work, but don't neglect your sadhana. You're chanting your rounds, reading, associating. That should not stop. Prabhupada was one time morning walk, I think I described that once. Devotee said that, oh, such and such devotee, he's got a job outside, he's working very hard. Prabhupada saying, okay. And he's working long hours. And then they said, oh, but he has stopped chanting. And Prabhupada stopped, put his cane in the ground and he said, then he's an animal. If he's not chanting, he's just an animal. So, what makes us devotees is chanting the holy name. So in spite of all this, a devotee is not disturbed. What is meant to come to you will come, whether you like it or not. And what is not meant will not come, no matter how much you endeavor. So why lose sleep over that? We'll do what we need to do and take up the rest of time for Krishna consciousness. That's why Prabhupada was saying in one lecture, actually in this chapter only, 16th chapter. He was saying that in the olden days, the society was agrarian, agriculture based. So in a year, 12 months, 3 months they'll work hard in the fields. Work for 3 months. 9 months they had holiday. So plenty of time to engage in Krishna conscious activities. And those days wealth was defined as dhanena dhanavan. One who had enough dhan means grains, dhanya. He is considered to be a wealthy person. Dhanya nahi dhanavan. You measure, nowadays it's measured by what? How many cars you have and how many properties you have. And it's the wrong thing. But those days based on food, how much grains you have. If you have good stock of grains, you are a very rich man. Society was different. The focus was on, the aim of life was very clear. Now the aim of life is forgotten, lost. That's why, yeah, they also were cows, correct. They owned, Nanda Maharaj had some 9 million cows. They're all very high quality, high breed, giving the best milk. But nowadays it's all lost. But whatever it is, asti ek mahan guna, kirtanaya krishnasya mukta sangha param rajet. One good quality. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, you can go back to Godhead. So today Nityananda Pran Prabhu and Vraja Mataji have come to grace the occasion here with a mission to engage the congregation in Transcendental Book Distribution Key. So before they start, I just want to emphasize that what Mathura Gokul Mataji is doing, the temple service, that is Radha Gopinath's direct service, is a priority. Temple has to be opened and temple has to function. So we should stick to that service. But in addition to that, the congregation ministry has got a plan that if every devotee gives out one book per week, 50 books a year, so this is the 50th anniversary of ISKCON, so if you distribute 50 books in 1 year, then the book distribution will go up so immensely. And Nityan Pran is going to explain that, so we'll finish it a little early. So it's got a bit of time for that. And but I again been emphasizing that our service at the temple should not be stopped, because temple has to open and temple has to be, deities have to be served. That is mandatory. Book distribution on the other hand is not less important, it's very important. But you can do as much as you can, there's no limit to it. You can do little, you can do more. So that is flexible. And that's not time bound. It's not time bound. If you don't do today, you can do tomorrow. But cooking, you have to cook at the right time, you have to finish at a certain time. Deities have to be dressed, deities have to be bathed, arati has to be done. Those are more regulated and in one sense, what should I say? Time constraint is there. There's a time-based service. Well, this is something you can do at your own time. And the beauty of the program they are presenting is that it is not hard and fast that every week it has to be the same day. It can be different days, different times, different ways. I don't want to say too much. I'll let do you need a projector or something? Or put on television. So we'll all move there.